From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD PrimeTime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And it is Friday. Happy Friday. We are very close to the divisional as well, too. And I know a lot of people are excited about that. I'm very excited about it myself. And, you know, we have ourselves some really good matchups coming up this weekend in the NFL world. You already know. So it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend, man. And up first, we have the Jaguars and the Chiefs. The Jags coming to the game 10-8. The Chiefs are 14-3. There is a -9 spread favoritism to the Chiefs as well, too, coming up in this game. And also, we do have ourselves the over-under of 53 as well, too, in this spot. So you got a lot of good things going today, and I mean for tomorrow. And I think what we really want to look at when it comes down to this game is that you have two teams that are the usual situation in the NFL playoffs. You got a team that's somewhat of the upstart with the young, cool quarterback and all that good stuff. And, you know, they're a team that might have been not good for a while, you know what I mean? And now they're here and they have excitement and they've been doing some good things. And they got a big win, a big comeback win the week before. So they're very confident coming into this game. Blase. But then you got the Chiefs, who everybody feels is a super team, a Super Bowl type team. And they have the best coach that's still in the race right now. They have the best quarterback from what they say in the race right now as well, too. And then they got the best offensive scheme that you can that's left over as well, too, when you think about it. And then they have a defense that complements that situation. So everything points towards a big day for the Kansas City Chiefs. But when it really comes down to it, you know what's going to happen here. You know that the Chiefs are going to figure out a way to make this game a lot more closer than it needs to be. But we do know that both these teams met up. And as I said yesterday on the show when we talked about it a little bit, the Chiefs jumped out to a 20-0 lead and then were outscored 17-7 from that point on. So it wound up being a 27-17 victory for the Chiefs. So as I said before, the Jaguars can use that as a momentum piece going into their next game. I mean, going into this game tomorrow. And the Chiefs really need to take this game very seriously. And if I was Andy Reid, I would love to send a message to the rest of the NFL that we are not to be effed with, period, point blank. And I think that you know, there's a lot of great ambition for the Jaguars and everything like that. And I want to take them badly. I want to take them so bad because, you know me, I love the Dogs. I love what the Dogs can do. But let's just be realistic here. This team is not going to even come near winning this game. I think that the Chiefs are really a good, you know, 10 points or better winner. I did talk about this as my best matchup of the weekend as well, too, when it comes down to quarterbacks, because you know that these quarterbacks are going to grab a lot of headlines for the next decade. You know that. Trevor Lawrence and Patrick Mahomes, because the way that they approach the game and the way that they sell the NFL. So these two are just having their first of many playoff battles, in my opinion, moving forward. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But as I said before, if I'm going to pick a winner for the game, it'll be the Chiefs. But I would say stay away from the spread, play the scoreboard. And what I have on the scoreboard right now is 53, but I'm looking at a 52.5 at the moment. And so pretty much I really truly feel like this game will go under. The first game went under, and I think that this game actually does do the same exact thing, but it's going to be a little bit more lighter on the points for the Jaguars in this spot. I know that the Chiefs are going to make sure that they take care of their business when they need to, and when they get a big lead, they're not going to fade like the Chargers did. So it is what it is, and we move forward from there. All right, let's move on to the nightcap for Saturday, and that's going to be between two old rivals in the most covered division in all of football, maybe all of sports, the NFC East. And so you have the NFC East champion going against the third place team in the New York Giants. Now we all know that the Eagles did sweep the Giants this year as well too. That was big, but they did just recently play 2 weeks ago as well. And the Giants, they had some late jump points, but they still made it a game and lost 22-16. I think that the Eagles come into this game very rested, confident in their bunch as well too. I know that they're very happy that they see the Giants, a team that they did dominate twice this season as well. So there's a lot of things working out in the Eagles' favor, but let's keep it real. The Eagles might have been one of the teams the last few weeks that were very shaky in a sense, because they weren't winning games like they were the first 13. They didn't really have any games where they had to really compete. And when they did, they were able to close the show. But with these games, I felt like they were having a lot of issues with teams that they shouldn't be having issues with. And losing to New Orleans, that was kind of telling right there, because New Orleans played a certain defensive scheme that day that really interrupted things. But we know Gardner Minshew was the quarterback. But this team is not scoring as many points as they were throughout the season. They scored 32 points in their last two games, compared to what they were averaging for the season. Pretty much is almost like 29, 30 points a game. So this team is kind of been, I won't say they've been figured out, but I know that they kind of regressed a little bit because they didn't want to get anybody hurt moving forward to the playoffs. I think when you get a rest and you start kind of backing things down a little bit, that's when you might get yourself in a little bit of trouble. But I still feel like what happens here is that this is going to be an over bet to the Giants, in my opinion. It's going to be a serious over bet to the Giants, in my opinion. I think that a lot of us need to really realize that this is not 2016. This isn't, you can't look at it as if this is going to be a big Giants run and things like that. But I'm going to even have to really walk over to that majority side as well, too, because let's keep it real. This is Giants-Eagles. This is not going to be a walk in the park for the Eagles. It's not. And you got a Giants team that's so pumped up coming into this game because what they did against Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota might not be, who people felt was a really good team or anything, but they did win 13 games this season. You know what I mean? They went 13-4. So you can't take that away from them. And they beat the Giants earlier this year. So they were able to avenge that loss, because when it came to everybody else that they had second game with, they lost that game. So this right here is going to be the toughest game of the season for the Eagles, in my opinion. And the Giants being an overbet here is the right way to go, because you got to understand we're in the playoffs and things are getting predictable. So I truly do feel like the Giants can slow this game down and make it a very low-scoring game as well, too. This is another game I feel will go under. So if you want to do a little two-team parlay for Saturday that you just don't want to sweat too much with, play the under. Play both unders, in my opinion. But I'm going to go ahead and take the plus 7.5 on the Giants, because this is a rivalry game. This is going to be a very good playoff game. It's going to be a strategic game. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves the Sunday games, and up first we have the main event somewhat, the Bengals at the Bills. The Bengals come into this game 13-4. You have a Bills team that's 14-3. The Bills are a 5.5-point favorite, over under at 49. Now, we did talk about this yesterday, and we can easily say that what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to bet the Bengals. They want that Bengals money and they want it back, because why would you have them coming in as a plus 5.5? And why do you think that this would be something that was very feasible for them to not cover? You know what I mean? Because the Bills, to be honest with you, the Bills are just a team that are kind of going through a lot of emotions at this point, and they can be a team that can be easily beat, because if they're not focused in on the game, then they'll have some serious issues. This is the type of game where whatever happened a few weeks ago, they have to really put that to the side. I know that's not the PC answer. I know that's not what people want to hear, but let's just deal in reality for a second. You have to understand that this is a very, very, sensitive situation, but we must move on. That's the whole thing. And I think that the Bills have been a little, punch drunk these last few weeks. They've had games where the games were just too close for my comfort. Last week against a team that literally came in there with the offense that was kind of limited, still scored 31 points on them. And the offensive line was getting terrorized throughout the day as well too. These are things that are recipes for disaster for the Bills coming into this game. And we do have to remember the Bengals are the AFC champions. They are here defending their title and the right to get to the Super Bowl. So this game cannot be looked at as some type of tune-up matchup for the Bills getting to the Chiefs. This is the game right here. And I feel like this game possibly is the de facto AFC championship as well, too, because the winner looks like that they'll be the team that gets to the Super Bowl, because when you got to play against an easy team like the Chiefs do, how we're all thinking, you might not be the same team the next week. You might not go as hard as you should the next week, but it just all depends on the Chiefs' performance as well, too. But I really, truly feel like these two coming out of this game, they'll be so tuned up, so pumped up for the next game that it's going to be tough on whatever team that they're going to go against. So the plus 5.5 looks like it's a cinch. But this is where we get into trouble as well, too. This is where they can get tricky with you on divisional weekend, where they'll throw out a spread to you that looks like it's a crazy spread, and then what happens is the team that's the favorite absolutely goes ape-ish in that game and pretty much win the game by 21 or better. I've seen this on multiple occasions. I'm trying to remember when I'm remembering back a Minnesota game from years ago. That was in Minnesota. They thought that Minnesota was they had Minnesota as a 5.5. Minnesota looked like they could get upset that day. They wound up winning the game by 3 touchdowns. So, I'm just going back to looking at that situation as well, too. So you guys have to understand that this is going to be the game to me this weekend when it comes to the AFC. The Chiefs are in a formal spot. If they lose that game, then that says a lot about the Chiefs and where they're truly at this point as well, too. But this game right here is a game where the winner will really have to, gut it through and figure out ways to, get that victory, because I really feel like this is going to be an absolute war, absolute fist fight. I think that all the pleasantries will be out the way by the time we start this game, because I totally feel like, and I'm speaking from my athlete days and everything like that as well too. If you're a Bengal, if I was a Bengal, I'd be mad. I'd be furious. I can't wait to see this team. They gave them the home field advantage with the playoff. We didn't even get to play the game. We were up 7-3. I feel bad for your boy and everything like that, but we're going to come out here and try to kick your butt. So the Bills better be ready for everything. But I still like the Bills. The Bills are my Super Bowl pick, so I can't back out of backing the Bills here. And I hate that I'm in that position right now, because I am unbiased towards games. But all in all, this is a 50-50 game. So whatever side you choose, you should be feeling confident on getting your ticket cashed. You know what I mean? But this one right here, the Bills are a no spread take. They are a money line play. Minus 245. we can rock with it. Even though I would like it to be a lot lower, could be better at minus 200, minus 210, minus 190. That's really doable for me, but they're trying to make sure that you see that the Buffalo backers are on the money line and that the Bengals backers are on the spread. It's just that simple. So there it is. There it is. We move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about the main event. The game that has all the internet people and everybody's feathers ruffled a little bit. The Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. The Dallas Cowboys come into this one 13-5. You have a 49ers team that comes into the game 14-4. In reality, I'm sorry, because they are 14-4 because they're 13-4 here, but they're 14-4 coming into the game. So you have a Dallas Cowboys team that had the most dominant win of the weekend. Let's just keep it real, because you would say, no. San Francisco had the most dominant win. No, San Francisco was down by a point at the half and literally had to get themselves motivated to go ahead and beat up a very live dog in the Seattle Seahawks. The Dallas Cowboys were given no chance to win that game. Let's keep it real. Everybody was already getting ready to get excited about Brady versus the 49ers. Brady going to go home and play in San Francisco one more time, to end his career or whatever, or get a big win. No, it did not go like that. The Cowboys even missed 4 extra points and still beat that team by 17. The Cowboys went in there and became the team that I remember from the 90s. A very balanced effort. It wasn't about passing. It wasn't about running. It was about what was the best play to run in that moment at that situation. So the Cowboys are in the driver's seat to have a big, big game come Sunday. But the San Francisco 49ers are in the driver's seat to have a big, big game as well, too, to where they can shut down everything that Dallas is coming with. But I truly do think that the 49ers have gotten a little cute here in the last few weeks. They're starting to kind of read these press clippings a little bit as well, too. Let's keep it real. Their defense has actually been scorched up the last few weeks as well, too. And I think that, a lot of people knew that the Buccaneers were a trash team coming in there, but they wanted to just make sure that they sold something because there was the Cowboys coming to town, and everybody loves the rag on the Cowboys, and if anybody's going to choke off a game, it's going to be the Cowboys. So this week, this is a game that the Cowboys have been anticipating since last year when they lost to the 49ers in the first round. The 49ers are feeling very confident right now in what they're doing. They feel like they're a Super Bowl team at this point, and a lot of people feel like there's a Super Bowl team at this point in a wide open NFC, in my opinion. It really does come down to 3 teams, but the Giants are here in the party as well right now. But still, this one right here is just like the game that's the game before it. It's gonna be the de facto NFC championship. So I feel like we're getting the conference championships a week early on Sunday, in my opinion. So I feel like the winner of this game is the NFC champion, and the winner of the next game will be the AFC champion. So, there you have it right there with that. But I truly do think that this one winds up being a very, very close game, and it lives up to all whatever hype that it's going to get as well, too. I do see the Cowboys starting this thing fast, and then I see the 49ers figuring out a way to get back in this game as well, or vice versa. Regardless, these teams are going to go at it. But I truly do feel like this game does call for the under. So I like the under 46.5. I'll have more for you guys come Sunday when we talk about the game. You know what I mean? So, because I got the bets for you as well, too. So I like the under 46.5 for right now. Well, actually, I'm sorry, it's not the under, it's the over 46.5. I think that the offenses are going to show up. I know the defenses are both pretty good, but I think this is going to be an offensive day. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. And when I get back, we're going to go ahead and jump into the NBA for Friday night, and we're going to talk the state of the Lakers as well too. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Gapper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we're back with the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. And yeah, today is a track day today as well too. So I'll be over there with Doug and the gang in a little bit. So maybe you might see me on TV if you're watching some horse races and things like that. I know everybody's like, "Where's the horses at?" Sorry, today I'm just gonna be relaxing and I'm keeping them to myself. All right. Shit, I share enough gems with y'all on a daily basis. You know what I mean? But I love y'all. I do. So if you really truly do need them, hit me up. State of the Lakers. You know what? That game the other night frustrated me because the Lakers should have won that game on so many accords the other night. The Lakers were up 12 at one point. They were up 11 at one point. They even were able to work themselves back into the game and be up 3 late in the game as well, too, and still figured out a way to lose that game the other night. And I just truly – there is no excuse on what these support players are doing. LeBron – I'm really hard on LeBron a lot, but LeBron has been playing some dynamic basketball for a guy who's 38 years old. Really 39. He's 38 yet because he's December 30th. So he's a late 84 baby. So literally we are the same age, but I'll be 39 in April. So LeBron has played lights out to even make sure the Lakers are anywhere near winning a basketball game. And I think that AD really does need to get his butt back in the lineup as soon as possible because they're saying right now that there's no tightness on the foot, right? But you're still sitting on the bench. So we really need you to figure something out and get into the game because once AD comes back, the Lakers, if he doesn't get hurt, if he doesn't have a moment where he gets hurt, the Lakers should be able to go ahead and really make themselves a nice run. I'm looking at these 4 out of 5 losses. The only loss they had that they really were out of the game was Denver, and that was because that was a LeBron rest game as well, too. Now, they came back around a few days later and almost beat Dallas. They wound up losing that game by 4. That game wound up going to overtime as well, too. And the Lakers double overtime at that. The Lakers had plenty of opportunity to win that game, but the Lakers had to play from behind literally that whole game because they were up 14. They were down 14 to start the game off. And at one point they were down 20. So the Lakers made a great effort to get back into that game. That was beautiful. Now they played Philly a few days later on Sunday. The Philly game, they know they should have won that game. That was without a doubt they should have won that game. The Philly game, just I don't know what happened there at the end, but the Lakers just weren't able to get that to get that final shot off the way that you would think. Then they get a good win over Houston. Okay, they got a good win over Houston, but that was too much pulling teeth. Let's keep it real. Houston scoring 35 points in the first quarter, scoring 37 points and scored 71 points in the second half, 37 and 34 in that half of play. Okay, the Lakers only gave up. Didn't only at one point in the night the Lakers didn't give up a 30 plus point quarter. That's atrocious. But they played that game like they knew they were going to win that game. So they knew that they didn't want to play crazy defense. They just wanted to make sure they won the game. And then that game against Sacramento the other night, they should have won it, man. Like I just said, they should have won that game, because if you take back if you win the Philly game, if you win the Dallas game, I'm just giving you those two. And then you win, the Lakers literally had another 4 in a row. The Lakers could be right now a team with a winning record and not a losing record. You know what I mean? So, this team could be 23 and 23 right now, or 23 and 22. And you know where they would be? They would be sitting in the 6th seed of the playoffs right now if they were to do that in the West. So the Lakers are truly they're really just a streak away from actually being back in the playoff race. And I think that, this team has to play better defense. When they know that they can score as much as they're scoring, what's the point of keep on playing this Matador defense? Once you start playing real defense, everything's going to start falling into place for you. And I think that the Lakers are onto something somewhat here. Once AD gets back, I'm saying it for the third time. Once AD gets back, I think that we'll be able to have things fall into place the way that they need to fall into place. And I'm going to keep it real with you. The Lakers avoid the play-in. The Lakers will be a way better team once we get done with this All-Star break, in my opinion, because a lot of other teams are getting tired and the Lakers are getting better. That's the whole thing. A lot of teams are getting tired at this point. Look at Phoenix, and look at the Wolves in a sense as well too. As many bad nights as they have and good nights that they have, it's no consistency. So the Lakers just need to figure out a consistent chemistry, and they'll be fine. So we'll see what the Lakers do tonight. Let's talk a little bit about tonight's game just for a second. You got John Morant coming into town with their 11-game winning streak right now. They haven't lost a game here in the month of they haven't lost a game here in 2023 at all. They are coming in here 9 in a row for 9-0 this month, but they just came off of a very close win against Cleveland. So when you come out of a game where you barely won, and it was a few nights before, and you got to fly into LA, and then you start a 5-game road trip, usually the first game of the road trip is always the toughest game. And I think that with the way that the Grizzlies have been playing so lights out lately, and then they kind of had a hiccup here against Cleveland, who's a good team. I'm not going to take that away from them. They're a really good team, but they had some issues with San Antonio. So when you see stats like that, it seems like they're stepping up for the big-time teams, and then they're kind of regressing a little bit for these teams that are a little bit, on the wayside. But Cleveland is not one of those teams. But I'm looking at how things have been going for them this month. And I just truly feel when you come out of a win like that and you got a good win streak going, you usually bounce the next game. And I think the Lakers, with the way they've lost these last 4 out of 5, and knowing that they could have won these games, they're going to make sure when they get a lead late that they don't blow it. That's how I'm feeling here. So Lakers can possibly win this game tonight, but I definitely know that they can cover this game tonight. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we'll go from there. And to my fam that's watching the show right now, I think you are on to something right now. I think that the over in this game is a strong bet as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we move forward from there. Let's go ahead and jump into our next topic, and that's going to be this right here. This is going to be the NBA Friday night, and we got 9 games in the NBA. Got 5 of them covered for you guys. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited about it. So let's go ahead and see exactly what we're doing here. We got ourselves the Knicks and the Hawks. You got the Knicks coming in here 25-21, and you got this Hawks team that's 23-22. Hawks actually playing much better basketball right now. They did start off the season, and it was kind of rough for this team, but now things have slowed down a little bit for them. They're playing better. They find themselves in a good position moving towards the playoffs as well, too. When you look at the playoffs in the Eastern Conference, this is the 7th and 8th seeds as well. And you got New York, who's tied up with Miami, but there's just little things keeping them apart. But this is the Eastern Conference is so much better than the West right now, when it comes to record wise, and they've been having their way with them as well, too. Now, you have this Hawks team who's playing lights out this month. They've won their last 4 games in a row. Got a good win the other night against Dallas as well, too. This team is now 6-3 for the month of January, and it's a good look for a team that found themselves in a bad position here early in the year. Now they're back in second place. They're back in the playoff hunt as well, too. And, Trey is kind of chilled out a little bit, so everything's a little bit better. Now you got the Knicks, who've been lights out so good lately. They've actually are 6-3 this month as well, too. But they've lost their last 2 games in a row, 2 home games to be exact. They lost by 2 to Toronto, then they lost by 11 to the Wizards. Both those teams are kind of lowly, but it's understandable because the Knicks still have those moments where they're going to struggle against teams that are not playoff teams, because the Knicks are a border team. They're bordering good and they're bordering bad at the same time. So it kind of goes in that accord a little bit. So pretty much you have yourself a really good game tonight between these two teams. We all know that the Knicks absolutely crushed the Hawks last time they played. So what I see here is a very strategic game that comes down to who wants it the absolute most. And I think with the Knicks coming in here on a 2-game losing streak and the Hawks coming here on a 4-game winning streak, they're going to overbet the Hawks. If the Hawks really were seen as a team that would be really good tonight, you would probably have them be a higher dog, but they're not. So literally my whole thing is like this. I say that this can be a game that really finds itself in a very peculiar state. So I do like the Knicks here with the dog better today. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But I do like the Knicks today with the dog better today. So I think that this will be a good play for us. So I'm over here. I got something going on with my font, so I'm trying to make sure I see things. But because my screen's a little bit bigger. So I like it. Knicks with the plus 125 tonight. Let's get that money, and we move forward from there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our next game, which is going to be the Heat and the Mavs. The Heat and the Mavs. We all know that they've played against each other in the finals twice. Gave us some good theater as well, too, in those finals. And I think that when it all comes down to it, that this will wind up being one of the better games of the night as well, too. So I truly do feel like we in a good spot here, but we don't really need to pick a side here. What we can do is we can go ahead and play the scoreboard in this spot. And I feel like the scoreboard will go over tonight in this game, because you have a game where you really can't pick who the winner is going to be. Dallas is at home, but Dallas does struggle a bit against Eastern Conference teams as well. And the Heat play well against the West. They've been playing well against them the last few times out. And, the Heat are playing some of their best basketball of the year right now as well. So I think that this one winds up, you can't really pick a side here. You just go ahead and take the over 218.5, because that's what it's jumped to. It's 217.5 on the screen, but it's jumped to 218.5. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right. So we have our next and I'm still here. So my bad. Pacers Nuggets. I guess I was on mute, but Pacers Nuggets. That's where we're going with this one. Pacers Nuggets is going to be 23-23, and the Nuggets are 32-13. So pretty much what I said here, we're going to take the under 239.5 in this spot. This is one of the better games of the night. You have a Pacers team that's one of the best dog in the league, has one of the best against the spreads. Then you have the Nuggets, who are one of the best home teams in the league and one of the best when it comes to being a favorite in the league straight up. So we'll see how this one shakes out, but I truly do like the under 239.5. Let's move forward to our next game, which is going to be the Jazz and the Nets. The Nets coming up fresh off of another loss. They've actually lost their last 4 in a row, to be exact. Things are a little rough without KD at this point, but they'll get it together. They're just on a west stretch right now. They're 3-5. They got Utah coming up, then they got Golden State, and they fly to Philly next week, and then they got 3 more at home that will probably be much better for them moving forward. But this game tonight, you have the Jazz being a big favorite here. I know Kyrie's probably going to sit out this game as well too. The Nets, they need to get through this game right here, and I know Sunday they'll be on it Sunday because they're playing against the Warriors. In that game, it'd be a little different. I know Kyrie will be back for that one. But as long as they can get at least one win out these next 3 games, they should be fine. But they're in good shape right now. They have nothing to worry about. They're sitting at the 4th seed right now. They should be really, really, really good once KD gets back. But they are playing in the toughest division in basketball as well, too. They got 4 teams in the division that are all in the playoffs at this moment. You know what I mean? But Brooklyn doesn't want to fall all the way down to the wayside because they don't want to get into this play-in situation again. You know what I mean? They want to just be comfortable, already be in the playoffs, start their series, move from there. You know what I mean? So they went from being the 2 seed a few games back to now being the 4th seed. But that's fine. They just need to get back KD. They'll be fine. And the Jazz, they're struggling mightily, but they did get a good win the other night against the Clippers. But Utah finds themselves still in the 6th position, 24-24 on the year. And as I keep saying that, we got such a log jam to get to who's going to be in the playoffs this year. It's just, you don't have to worry about a thing right now. But the Lakers can't keep messing around either because they're 2 games back from the Clippers, right? They're 2 games back from the play-in right now. And they're 2.5 games back from the 6th seed. And they're 3.5 games back from the 5 seed. So the Lakers, all in all, they're right here. They just need to make their move. But Utah is sitting pretty at the moment, but they're a team I know that will eventually fall off into this little playing group that we have here as well, too. So with that, and surprise, surprise, Oklahoma City finds themselves as the 9th seed now. They're ahead of the Clippers. That's nuts. So there it is. There it is. And you know why they're ahead of them, right? Because they beat them twice. All right, so we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into this Thunder and Kings game tonight. And the Kings come into this one very confident. They are the 3rd seed in the Western Conference right now after New Orleans loses again. They've won their last 7 out of 10 coming in as well. And then you got Oklahoma City's won their last 7 out of 10 as well. So these 2 teams line it up, and they are ready to roll. Thunder are one of the best teams when it comes to the dog, and the Kings are one of the best teams when it comes to putting points on the board and playing at home. So, and going against the Western Conference, like they dominate the Western Conference. They're having their issues versus the East. So SAC looking to stay afloat, stay right where they're at, stay right where they need to be, even though they don't have the greatest. They have a little bit of a cushion right now in the Pacific Division, but they really can't slack. And this is the type of game that these are the type of games they want to win. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to, create bad habits. And then Oklahoma City is just trying to prove to everybody that they're a lot more than a team trying to tank for a young prospect. They are into winning basketball games and trying to put themselves in a position to be a championship team in the coming years. They got a lot of good talent there. They've been doing a lot of good scouting down there as well, too. And they've been making people a lot of money this year as well. So you can't take anything away from the Thunder. They had a lot of people already ragging on them before the season started. But people have to understand, Oklahoma City is a little NBA town, just like San Antonio. So when these teams actually go off, they really go off. So it is what it is at the end of the day. I truly do like the Thunder coming into this game because they just are a road warrior and in all facets of the word. So I do like them with the plus 4.5. We'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into talking tickets. It's your favorite subject, my favorite subject. And let's go ahead and see exactly where we're standing at here with talking tickets. Up first, we have ourselves the PrimeTime PK6 54-1 with Wagner at 4.5. We got Manhattan with the plus 14. We also have Sacred Heart with the plus 5. We got Nova with the plus 155. We got Toledo with the minus 5, and then we got New Mexico with the minus 160. So we got the 54-1 in that regard. Now we move on to our next group. It's going to be the super high 5, 29-1. We got the over 218.5 with the Heat and the Mavs. Then we got the Knicks plus 125 as our NBA dog of the day. Then we have the Jazz with the 7.5, and then we have the under 239.5 with the Pacers and the Nuggets. And then we finish up with the plus 4.5 on the Thunder. And then for our NFL weekend, we have the pick 4, 10-1, under 52.5 with the Jags Chiefs, the plus 7.5 with the Giants. Then we have the Bills minus 245, and then we finish up with the over 46.5 with the Cowboys and the 49ers. This is going to be a 10-1 ticket. I like what I see here. I think that is going to be a good ticket as well, too. Very profitable, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but we got 10-1 on the division pick 4. And let's just get those tickets. Let's see if we can get them tickets home. You know what I mean? So there it is. There it is. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And as always, there is no me without you. And the movement is moving. Always bet with your head, not with your heart. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live. And I wish you guys a very great sports weekend. And I'll see you guys on Monday for the fallout of everything that happened this weekend. So you guys are the absolute best. You guys follow my Twitter as well too, at PopDiBiase, so you don't miss out on the talking tickets that you already missed out on. If you just catching me now, and then also be on the lookout for the famed CBB bets list for tomorrow as well too. Big day in college basketball. So I thank you guys very much for tuning in once again, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.